Hey, what's poppin' guys, Szyl here. This is a beginner's guide to Davinci Resolve from someone who literally just started using it today. I've went through a lot of different tutorial videos, a lot of different settings and stuff to kind of find the best ones that continued the workflow that I had on Kdenlive. And it's actually pretty straightforward. So first off, you want to go to File, Project Settings, Master Settings, change your timeline frame rate to 60 FPS, playback frame rate also 60 FPS. Change the optimized and render formats to DNX, HR, HQX. No clue exactly why, but that's what I was told to do. And everything else I believe is default. When you're done with all that, hit the three dots up here, go to default preset, hit update preset and update, and it'll save this. Also, then hit the three dots again and hit save current settings as default preset, hit update, and then going forward, every time that you make a new Davinci Resolve project, it'll automatically be perfect, which is great. That's what you want to happen. When you have anything change, update, save. I'll just hit cancel here. Then next up, we're going to go over the render settings, right? Because that's the other half that people tend to care about. Change your format from MP4 to QuickTime. YouTube will take QuickTime just fine, and why not? Change your codec from H.264 to H.265. There are benefits to some of the other stuff as well. However, H.265 should be fine for most people. Encoder, if you have an option here that isn't native, set to that. Otherwise, keep it on auto. Turn on network optimization. Resolution, you actually don't want it to be 1080p. Even if your video is actually 1080p, YouTube will have lower quality for videos that max out at 1080p. So you actually want to render in either 2K or 4K, so might as well go 4K. This will cause it to render longer, but your gameplay footage will look so much better. It's kind of insane, and it's just a thing YouTube's had for years. I don't know why they have it like that, but that's just how it is. But and if you have a normal 1080 video, it'll look worse in 1080p. Even though your actual project and all this stuff will be in 1080p, rendering in 4K and giving YouTube a 4K video will make YouTube actually spend more resources on their end to make your video look better on YouTube. Frame rate, obviously 60 as well. All this other stuff, pretty much same as default. And then right here in this advanced I believe this is the advanced settings, yeah. So open up the advanced settings menu. Most of it's default, but all these check boxes, check basically everything except use proxy media. Don't know exactly why, I just know it's better apparently. Then go to audio, change it from the default to AAC is the default to linear PCM. Apparently that's just the best audio you can get. And more importantly, go to audio normalization, hit normalize audio, set the mode to YouTube. And what this will do is it'll make your video either louder or quieter so that it's at the perfect audio level for YouTube, even if the original clips weren't there originally. And you should just have this on always for all your videos, because then all your videos will sound the exact same. You won't have some videos that are louder, some that are quieter, some that are weirder, which is absolutely amazing. And then everything in File is also the same. So that's all you have to do in terms of settings, as far as I can remember. Now off to actually how to use the software. You don't really need to use any tab other than this third tab right here. This is the main editing tab. You literally can just drag and drop in whatever footage you have. So for example, I'll drag in my little Brian gameplay here. And I'll drag in... Where's my other thing? I'll drag in some music. You guys won't be able to hear any of this, but just kind of trust that I'm editing it, I guess. But you can see, right, you have like your footage, you can kind of scroll through it to, check things. It's actually playing audio as I scroll through it here. But just drag and drop it into the timeline. And you can see my thing has multiple things of audio. Some people record with that. You don't really need it. It's personal preference if you want to put in the extra work to have multiple audio tracks. The top one's my voice, the middle one's game. The bottom one's Discord, and I wasn't in Discord at the time, so I want to go delete that. And for anyone with multiple audios, right-click. Where it says link clips, just click that to unlink the clips. Now click on the one you want to delete and press the backspace button. This is actually very important. If I press delete, you'll see it deletes everything. If I undo that and I click on this and I backspace, you'll see it deletes just that one thing. Not sure why it's like that, but it just is something you have to be aware of. And then you're probably also wondering, how do you cut footage? How do you kind of edit footage? And that's pretty simple. You can drag the little zoom in or zoom out thing here and use your scroll wheel to get around in the main timeline. Like right here, right? There's a bit of silence at the start of the video. I guess I didn't talk right away. So what you want to do is either click this thing manually or press B on your keyboard. You'll then have the cutting tool selected. Just click where you want to cut and it'll cut it. And except these are not linked anymore. So let me hold shift while clicking and link these together again. Then do the cut thing, cut them, boom, that's done. Hit the backspace button yet again. Actually, I think in this case I want to hit delete because then it actually moves the clips. You saw it right there, right? The clips were here before. I press delete, it actually moves the clips to fill in the space it used. That's why that button is separately there, I guess. Right, and then to move around stuff, you can press either A or click on this little mouse thing to go just, drag and move stuff around again. Right, so B to cut, do the cut, scroll a little bit, find where the next part would be, do the cut again. Right, so I'm going to actually press A for a sec to go and look for where I want to go. I generally cut to right before I find a game. Like, I think here. Let me zoom in a little bit and kind of eyeball it a bit more. Yeah, so like right here, right? Press B, cut it again. Now I'm going back to A. You can see the cut is there on both sides. Go here, hit delete, and now we've deleted the footage in between. And you're probably also wondering, how do you then add like music and stuff? Pretty straightforward. You take your music, you drag it in, and it just works. To change values for music, first off, this is too long, so I'm going to drag it from the right all the way back to the start, like any other video editor. To make it fade out at the end, there's like a little thing right here. You can just drag it and have it fade that amount of time. So now I have an 8-second fade at the end. To make it quieter, because you can see this is obviously way too loud, you can either drag here and have some level of control of the level of audio, or click on it. And then here in the top right, you'll see things. If you don't see that, click the inspector button and it'll pop up with this. And you can see there's a ton of different settings here. This stuff on the right are the keyframes. So let's say you wanted to go from like quiet to loud, add a keyframe there, add a keyframe here, change the value here. And you can see on the bottom, right, those two separate points are both there now. I'm gonna actually hit undo on both those because I don't need keyframes for this video, but that's how you keyframe like anything that has it. And that's also how you access all the settings. So if I go to the video, there's like a whole video section with transforms, zooms, etc. But for the audio, all I want to do is change the audio from -20 to -40. So I can either drag there or just click twice or something and type it in. And there you go. You can see these are still at 0, but this one's at -40. And that's like the basic editing I do for the most part. But if you need other stuff, you can also hit effects, and now you can see there's a bunch of different effects. There's video transitions, audio transitions, titles, so you can add like text. Right, so I could drag in text here. Let's give me zoom in on it a little bit to kind of access it a bit more directly. And when you're here at this text, you can literally just type it in. Right, so test text. And you can see there it is live. You can even add keyframes to this. You can have the text change. Right, that's pretty cool. You can change the font. Right, so I like using my Lemon Milk Pro FDR. You can change the color. I like, red text is pretty cool. Size, you can make it bigger or smaller. There's like drop shadows and stuff. And just the usual stuff you'd expect anywhere. I think that some guy said he uses 3 and -5. Right, that looks pretty good. You can obviously move it around just like anything else. There's places to do that. Yep, position right here. So I can drag it up or down. I can drag it left or right, kind of do whatever I want with it. Text is very, very easy to do. And then for transitions, let's say for whatever reason I want to add a transition to the front of this stuff right here. You can just go video transitions, let's say like additive dissolve, literally just drag it between two clips and it'll apply. Now you can see if I go play it, right, does that weird little transition it did right there. It was like a similar looking screen, so the transition doesn't look as good as it normally would, but still pretty cool, right? So that's how you do transitions, that's how you do text, that's how you cut footage. Any other effects you need, you can find in the effects thing here and drag them on more directly. Most effects you want to change are found in the video or audio sections whenever you click on something, which is very, very nice. And whenever you're done with all that, you don't even have to really access any of the other tabs. I'm sure there's some cool stuff to be done, in all these different things. Just click the little rocket ship. Once you have those export settings from before, make sure you have them selected, right? And if you don't have them saved, you were supposed to have hit the 3 dots up here. I don't think I mentioned that. Hit save as new preset. And I called mine cool preset. You can call it literally anything. Once you have that, hit add to render queue, right? Name it whatever you want to name it. So I'll just call it like, tutorial.mov, and then hit save. And it'll give you a warning because you're exporting in 4K, even though your footage is 1080p. That's just something you have to do for YouTube. So hit add. It's nice that warning is there though. And from here, you could just hit render all and it would start rendering. But I also want to show off how to render multiple projects at the exact same time, which is something I do all the time in my other video editor in Kdenlive. Just by opening multiple windows of Kdenlive to do that. And there's probably a better way to do it there as well. But it's very easy to do in Davinci Resolve. Right, so let's say I need another one. I go to File, Project Manager, create your new project, call it like new project, hit create. And then go back to your editing thing, do whatever you want to do. In my case, I'm literally just going to drag in the exact same footage that I just had. And drag that in and drag it into the main thing and pretend like I would just, want this as its own upload. Right, pretty cut and dry. And then once you're done here, once you've done your edits here, pretend that you did some editing here, go to the same thing, call it whatever you want to call it, file name, I don't know, test 2, hit add to render queue, and it's already called test 2 now. You should probably do things that way instead of typing it here, and hit save. And you can see job 1, right, tutorial, job 2, test 2, and for you might not see this right away. And that's because you have to hit the 3 dots up here, and instead of just show job details, or sorry, not instead of show job details, but you have to have show all projects, and show job details is also useful. So you can see I actually used the wrong thing here, right? For this one, it's in 1080p, using H.264, which is something you don't want. Make sure you have the right thing selected. And I have my cool preset now. And now if I do test 2 again, hit add to render queue, add. There you go, now you can see it's in 4K with H.265. And then, yeah, you just have to hit render all, and it'll actually render both the first project and the second project, which is absolutely amazing and time-saving. It's not going to go super fast. I mean, you can see there's like an estimate each of these for like 14 minutes or so, which is actually pretty good, but that's because my computer's better. But yeah, that's how you do the editing. That's the settings you should use. That's how to render multiple projects at the same time, right? If you have one of them selected, it'll just render one. But if you like, did I do multiple? Yeah, multiple selected, which I had to hold control to select multiple, and you can hit render all, and it'll render both of them at the same time. I believe, sorry, it'll render one after the other, and you can kind of see it going to work right now, like kind of scrolling through the timeline, doing its thing, and even the time remaining. It's great. I'm gonna hit stop for now though, because obviously those aren't the only edits I'm gonna do. It's pretty close to actually all the edits I do for these videos, but with that being said, hopefully you found this useful. I mainly made this to remind myself of how to do things if I ever have to, like, I don't know, reset my computer or something. Now I'll know how I do, have my setup. But yeah, if you have any more questions, comments, concerns, any cool things I should be doing that I'm not currently doing, please let me know. And with that being said, have a great rest of your day.